Alright, we're going to set up the HikVision DVR for the mobile app so we can view it on our cell phones. And what we want to do is go ahead and log in. Go ahead and right click, and if it doesn't bring you to this login screen, right click and click menu. So when you go to log in, it is case sensitive. When you click the green arrow, it'll be in caps. You have to click it again to bring it back down to lowercase when you're typing in the password. So go ahead and put in your password. If you don't know your password, what you can do is go ahead and click in the bottom left hand corner. So we'll go ahead and show you this now. So just right in that corner there, go ahead and double click and it'll bring you to reset password. So it'll give you your serial number there. This is different than your device serial number. This is your reset serial number. Two ways to unlock it. One is to use this third-party website and enter your serial number, or you can contact the HikVision support through their contact form on their website and wait for them to get back to you. I prefer this method since it's a lot faster, so I'll include a link in the description. Alright, now that we've got logged into our device, we can actually right click again and go to menu. Then go to system configuration. And then next we're going to go ahead and click on network. And then we're going to actually want to enable DHCP. This will grab a IP address from our router or our modem. It will change the IP address, what you see there. So we want to actually click apply. And then we'll go back. So then click on system configuration again. And then network again. What we're looking for is to see if the IP address changed. If it hasn't updated, you might have to go out of the screen and back to the screen. Do that a couple times, or you might even have to reboot. Now this set of numbers here is from my Comcast Business Class modem. And if you don't have a Comcast Business Class modem, don't use the same set of numbers I'm going to be putting in. And if you don't have Business Class Internet, you're probably residential and you don't have something that's called a static WAN address. That is a specific address that helps the internet find you. So if you have residential, then you'll probably have to set up something called dynamic DNS on your modem, and there's other videos about that. I'm not going to include anything for that because that's networking stuff and that can get infinitely longer and more complicated. I'm going to uncheck DHCP because I don't want this address changing on me in the future. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change this last set of IP addresses, this 232 to 202, just to make it easier to find since I have multiple DVR devices on my network and I want to be able to access all of them from the internet. So this is a second device, so I'm going to name it 202. My first device I named it 201. My third device I named it 203. So you're just going to have to pick something that's open on your network. I did a network scan or a ping test, and I know that nothing is using this IP address. So we'll set it as 202, hit apply. Next, we're going to click on more settings, and this is our server port. If you just have one device, you can leave it on 8000. I have multiple devices, so I'm actually going to put this to 8202 just to make it easier to remember. My other devices, I'll set it to like 8201 for the first device or 8203 to the third device. It doesn't really matter what you set it as, it just has to be a specific number per device. And if you only have one device, just leave it as 8000. Next, I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to punch in this IP address that I just set for the DVR. So I set it to 202. We'll put that address in there, hit enter. And if it brings me to a login page like this, then I know it accepted the address and it is on the network. So for the rest of this video, I'm just going to cover the Comcast Business Class modem and your DVRs plugged directly into it. If you have a Wi-Fi router in between, then you're gonna have to set these settings on the modem and on the router. And if you don't have the Comcast Business Class, then your setup's going to be a lot different, and I'm not going to be able to get into that because there's just too many variables. But the concept of our next step, port forwarding, will still apply. I'm just not going to be able to tell you how to do it on your specific device. Next step is to log into our modem. In this case, it's our Comcast Business Class modem, and the address is this. So go ahead and put that into your web browser, hit enter, and it'll bring you to this login screen. The default login is listed here. If you've changed your login in the past and don't know it, you're going to have to get a hold of Comcast and they can help you reset it. One more thing to note is that this login usually does not work over Wi-Fi, so you'll have to take a network cable and plug it in between your computer and your modem. Once you're logged in, it may ask you to change your password. You can skip it just by hitting cancel. Next step, you want to click on advanced on the left and then port forwarding. Make sure we enable port forwarding, and then we're going to add a service. I already added all my info in there. For my 3 DVR boxes, it's going to ask for service name, start port, end port, and server IP address. So once you put in all your information, make sure you click save or apply. At this point, we're done with the modem, so to move on to the next step, we're going to open up a new web browser tab and go to canyouseeme.org. It's going to list your IP. This is that WAN address that we talked about earlier, and that's the address that is assigned to you and helps the internet find you. And it's going to give you a port to check. I'm going to go ahead and type in my port for my second DVR, 8202. And then I'm going to hit check port. If it comes back as green and the port is open, then you're good to move on to the next step. If it comes back red and says error, cannot communicate, or cannot see the port, then you have more issues to deal with. Something is blocking it, or you put in the wrong settings. So just go back over, double check your settings. If it still doesn't work, it's going to get more involved into networking stuff, and there's other videos on YouTube that will show you how to open ports for port forwarding. Next step is we finally get to set up the mobile app. So I have an iPhone here. I'm just going to go to the App Store and download the app. You're going to want to search for HikVision. It's not the HikConnect, and you could do this IVMS 4550, but the one I did, if you type in HikVision and do a search, I did the IVMS-4500 Lite. So go ahead and download that, open it up, and then we're going to want to click this button on the top left, and then we're going to click on devices. It's going to have their preset device in there. To delete it, you're going to want to swipe to the right. But to add something, you just click the plus sign. We're going to do manual adding, and we're going to set our alias. That's just what you know it as. I'm going to set up our DVR2. So I'm just going to name it DVR2 here. And then for mode, you want to pick IP domain. Alright, so for address, that's going to be our WAN address that we got from canyouseeme.org. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in now. And then our port number, 8202, and then password username is admin, and then password is the same password that you use to log into your DVR. And then the top button to save. Mine says connection failed because I'm just demoing it for you, but it'll auto-populate the number of cameras you have, and then you can click start live view at the bottom there, and it'll show all your cameras. I haven't tried to set it up on an Android, but I'm sure it's pretty similar. There's a bunch of different settings on this on how you can set cameras and views on the app, so I'm not really going to get into that, but you're just going to have to play around with it. Here's some bonus footage of the camera system that I came to fix. So just cables strung everywhere, and yeah, it was a real mess, but got it going eventually. And look at that box, just jam packed full of cables. So hopefully you don't run into something like that like I did. But thanks for watching the rest of my video, and if it helped you, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll probably do more of these how-to videos, but not on camera stuff, mostly car stuff. So if you like car stuff, definitely subscribe to the channel. Thanks.